and we're all going to do this together. Type in multisim, and then you'll find National Instruments multisim version 14. Can you get multisim for your own PC? Yes. You can get a student version, it's for free, but you can't do certain things in it. Certain really annoying things like saving things and all the rest of it, the usual sketch. Can you access this outside the labs? Well, hopefully you know by now you can use the virtual machine, right? So by using VM Horizon, you can come into the machines in here or anywhere else. All of our labs contain multisim. Our labs, not the University Central labs. You'll need to be on the VM and log into the VM to be able to run that in your accommodation or in one of the labs, lab 1, lab 2, whatever it happens to be. Okay? So you've got access to that. There's no excuse for not being able to get access to the software. So 14.2 app, and I don't know how Microsoft got away with that, but you might be able to see the still app, isn't they, from Apple. Shameless, wasn't it, really? Absolutely shameless.
They're probably just playing the same game Apple play.
Well, yeah, that's right, yeah, just steal it and then get sued afterwards. Okay, there's your development environment. Everyone got it up? No problems? The same modem operandi. If you've got a problem, stick your hand in the air. There's 3 of us here that are desperate to solve your problems for you, okay? All good? Okay. Now the first thing we're going to look at, you'll notice across the top there's a load of complicated things that don't mean a lot. Just have a little quick browse along yourself like I'm doing, and you'll see this is quite a sophisticated suite. It looks a bit like, to me, Visual Studio is almost like there's too many options to know what on earth to do. But just have a look along there across the top there, and you can get a feel for the number of options you've got. Down the bottom there, it's got results, net, components, copper layers, simulation, all the rest of it. You won't see anything in there until you export to PCB. Okay, so that bottom window will remain an anomaly to you until next week. Then you go straight into PCBs here. Okay, so let's start building now. So the first thing I want to do, well, the first thing I ought to do really is, so I've got mine called Design 1, is File, Save As. Now this is quite important because if you put it onto the local C drive in here, you'll lose it. As soon as you log off that machine and there's a refresh, which I think happens every sort of 6 hours or so, that will eradicate your file because it needs to clear up the space for other things to use. So you need to put that on an M drive. Pen drive is quite a favourite one as well. I suggest you get a pen drive and just have that C731. But if you haven't got one, you can just use the university drive, whatever. Everyone's got cloud services and whatever. So remember to save it, but not just onto the C drive. Okay, I'm not going to bother because otherwise I end up with lots of files because I'll probably have to repeat it 3 or 4 times. One for people that don't turn up on time and 2 for people that didn't get it the first time. Okay? Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do, you're going to do a save, so just do that for me. The first thing I want to do is I want to put a component onto the drawing area. That's the drawing area, this bit here. I don't know whether you can see my cursor, I hope you can. That's the drawing area here, and that's where we're going to drag the components together and connect them together. Just like we were doing, just like we've got the tray from the end there, put it on the table, and either use breadboard, I'm doing a bit of breadboard, or solder it together or whatever. So much, much faster than doing it by hand. So the first thing I want to do is place. Okay, so I've hovered over place, I've clicked on it, and the option is dropped down. I'm then going to go to place component, no surprise there. Okay, and then all hell's going to break loose. Look what's happening there. So more options than you can shake a stick at, look. And all of these families down here, just have a little browse around before you do anything. You'll see that this all groups up the top here, which is where you get the master classes, as it were. So where it says group, that's probably the most important window of all of them. So what I want you to do is go into group and click on where it says all groups and go down until you can find resistors, or what's basic, isn't it, Mike? Where are we? Basic. So it's the second one down, basic component. What's a basic component? Resistor, capacitor, inductor, straight wire. These are basic, okay? Is a transistor basic? Well, some would argue it is, but no, you won't find transistors. Okay, so I've gone to basic. Now if I click on basic, what that's going to do is open the folder in the second column there, and you're going to see lots and lots and lots, well, hundreds and hundreds of different types of resistor. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. Doesn't really matter which one you take. I think I'll just take this one here, 1 kilo ohm. It's got power ratings and all that. And you can see the symbol it's going to have on the right hand side there. When you see this A, B, C, D here, this is an integrated circuit package. I would avoid those for the time being. So you just want something basic inside here. Well, let's, I don't know why they bother putting so many in here. But you can choose whatever you want. 0 ohm, or we can change it anyway, but let's commit to 1. Like I say, I'm trying to get rid of this A, B, C, D down the bottom there. There we go, there's 1. So it's a 1 kilo ohm, it's got a whole series of capacitor and inductor values with it, but I'm not worried about those. So I've selected my resistor. I'm now going to click OK. Now look what happens. So stuck to the end of my cursor is a resistor. And that resistor will follow my cursor wherever I move it until I click the left mouse button. Now I go click, and suddenly, I'll just close that down, I've got the 1 kilo ohm resistor there. Okay, I don't like all that writing under there, so I'm just going to delete that. Okay, can anyone not do that? So place, component, resistor. Oh, that's a better way of doing it. So we're in basic, we've clicked on resistor, we've got the 1K up there. It's what's called a virtual component. In other words, it doesn't have a real counterpart, it's just a 10 1K rather than something that has a physical size and dimension to it. Okay, so there we go, we click OK, there's our resistor, follows the arrow about, plonk it down wherever you want, and this window opens again, because it's just assuming that when you lay one component down, you're going to lay lots of components down, right? That's a good assumption too. So that's OK, that's the way forward on that. So I'm going to close it again, just so that you can watch me again if you didn't get it. So I'm going to close, I'm going to go to place, component, I'm going to go into here, select basic, and in here I want a resistor. I have the resistor. I can choose whatever value I want, but that's arbitrary because I can change it afterwards. I can change that to a 1K, 10K, 100K, whatever I want. I'll show you how to do that now as well. Okay, so I'm going to choose, let's choose a 10K just to make it different. So 10,000 ohms, and I place that component down on my drawing area. I'm going to close that window down. Now say for R2 I made a mistake and I didn't want a 10K, I wanted a 5K or 4.7K. So I go to the 10K, double click on it, and you'll see in here there's a window where it says 10K, and I can just change that to anything I want. And press the OK, and suddenly on screen it's shut off. Okay? So I can do that with any component I want, I can change its value. Very important thing to be able to do. Everyone got that? Really important you keep up. Not keep up in speed, I mean it's important that everyone gets to the same stage. Everyone happy with that? And also there's no shame in not being able to do something. Because if you stick your hand up, chances are someone else thinks, I would. You know what? Ah.
Take 100% from over there.
Okay. Okay, there may be a bit of noise just for a few minutes. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to rotate that component. So the one that I've highlighted, you can highlight any one, but if you go over the top and just... I don't mind.
His mum's calling, I think.
Oh, is it? Excellent. Oh, put on hands free for us. Okay, so you go over the top of the component and you click with the left mouse button. Be careful that you don't click the legends, because if you do, you can change R2 to a different value if you want. Look. So you can go in here and you can change the label. I can change that to R27.5 if I wanted to. But I don't want to, I want the whole component. So I click on the whole component and I get a blue box come around the whole component. Right, that means it's highlighted. I'm now in editing mode for that component. If I now right click on that, I can rotate it. Well, I can translate it by dragging it, but I can rotate it. And that's an important thing to be able to do in multisim. So I want to rotate 90 degrees clockwise. See the option down there? Yeah? Rotate 90 degrees clockwise, there's my component, it's moved. Yeah? So make sure you can do that with the other components, because there is kind of a de facto way of wiring things up in circle, drawing circuits, but people generally do this kind of stuff with circuits because it's easier to understand. The way that people generally draw circuits is something like this. Assuming we're just using resistor networks. So that tends to be how a circuit progresses from start to finish. You've got one horizontal, one vertical. The bottom's always the ground, the top's always the more lively the wires. Okay, so we can rotate the components. We can pick the components from a list. Let's try